I used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a guy.
September 28, 2015. Cathriona White, 30-year-old makeup artist, found deceased in her LA home. Prescription medications scattered around her. Medication traced back to Jim Carrey. Her note didn't just explain why, it implicated the man she loved. The man who allegedly gave her transmissible conditions, controlled substances, and what she called mental mistreatment. The same man who publicly called her a delicate Irish flower, too sensitive for this soil, while allegedly forcing her to sign NDAs about the conditions he'd given her. Hollywood sold us Jim Carrey as the rubber-faced genius, homeless teenager, to $20 million per film. The Mask, Ace Ventura, The Truman Show. But behind those elastic expressions, a pattern so dark it makes his comedy look like the cruelest joke, wrongful ending of life lawsuits, transmissible condition allegations, extortion claims, anti-immunization conspiracies endangering children, inappropriate contact on camera, dismissed as comedy. A comeback driven by one admission: I need the money. Tonight, we're ripping off the mask to reveal what's underneath and the destruction left behind. Because Jim Carrey made us laugh, but the people closest to him, they weren't laughing. The origin story's legendary: Ontario, Canada, financial hardship. By 15, they're unhoused, living in a van. Jim drops out, takes a janitor job at a tire factory. He turns to comedy to escape. Hours perfecting impressions, developing that rubber-faced physicality. Saturday Night Live rejects him 3 times. But he keeps grinding. By the early 90s, he breaks through. In Living Color showcases his talent nationally. Then 1994 changes everything. Ace Ventura becomes a surprise blockbuster. The Mask makes him a movie star. Dumb and Dumber cements his status as comedy king. 3 massive hits, 1 year. By 1996, he's commanding $20 million per film. The Cable Guy, Liar Liar, The Truman Show, Man on the Moon, Golden Globe winner, Hollywood royalty, The American Dream. But dreams become nightmares. His romantic history tells a story. Renee Zellweger, January Jones, Linda Ronstadt, each described him the same way: selfish, terrified of commitment, emotionally unavailable. This wasn't one bad relationship, this was a pattern. March 29, 1997, MTV Movie Awards, Jim Carrey, 35, presents Best Kiss with 20-year-old Alicia Silverstone. He grabs her, forces a kiss on stage, not a peck, a full, aggressive kiss. Alicia pushes away, body language screaming discomfort as she tries escaping his grip. The audience laughs. MTV airs it. The moment's dismissed as just Jim being Jim. Except it wasn't comedy. It was inappropriate contact, captured on camera, broadcast worldwide, laughed off because Jim Carrey was beloved. The internet doesn't forget. When Jim later positions himself as a moral voice people remember, they watch again with different eyes. 2012 Jim Carrey, 50, meets Cathriona White, 28, Irish makeup artist in LA. They start dating. According to court documents, therapy notes, and texts, the relationship was anything but normal. Cathriona's in the US without documentation, no steady income. When her father dies from brain cancer in fall 2012, she can't travel home for the funeral. Vulnerable, isolated, financially and emotionally dependent on Jim. This is when things go wrong. Early 2013, court documents show Cathriona develops concerning symptoms. She texts Jim. He downplays them: aggravated follicles from shaving, vigorous contact. He suggests she contracted something from someone before me, but Cathriona insists she was tested before they met clean. She sees a doctor, positive. The lawsuit alleges Cathriona contracted 3 transmissible conditions from Jim, 2 types of a virus, 1 bacterial infection. Medical tests submitted as evidence, prescribed under Jose Lopez, with Jim Carrey's birth date. He'd been using aliases: Jose Lopez, then Arthur King. Here's where it darkens. According to Cathriona's family, Jim then pressured her to sign an agreement releasing him from any and all liabilities associated with anything that had transpired in their relationship. an NDA to keep her quiet about what he'd done to her body. Jim's version, completely different. His 2017 counter-lawsuit claims Catriona and her attorney extorted him in 2013, threatened to go to the press with false allegations unless he paid millions. Jim's team claimed Catriona forged her medical results, using a friend's negative clinic records, changing the name to appear disease-free before meeting Jim. According to his filing, Catriona knew the claims were false, but knew the mere allegation would impact Jim and his career. So rather than fight publicly, Jim paid. He paid her to keep quiet, but payment didn't solve the problem, just delayed it. We'll never get Catriona's full story. She's gone. But we have her therapist's notes. During the lawsuit, notes from therapy sessions surfaced. They paint a devastating picture. Catriona told her therapist Jim became verbally harsh when she struggled signing his contract. He allegedly called her worthless, a bitch, a piece of garbage. The notes state she was manifesting early signs of PTSD. She described seeing Jim smash a computer against the wall in a substance-influenced rage. She was terrified. April 8, 2013. Catriona writes a note on her iPad, a digital record of her pain. You introduced me to controlled substances, questionable people, mental mistreatment, and disease. I am damaged. I am disgusting. This is what I want. You gave me these conditions. I want you to apologize because you care enough to. She wanted an apology, acknowledgement, recognition of what he'd done. She never got it. Catriona and Jim don't speak for over a year. Then November 2014. She texts. She heard their song, misses him, changed. Can they try again? They reconcile. Jim supports her financially, helps pursue her photography career, but Catriona pushes for marriage. She texts that Catriona and Carrey sounded good. Jim refuses, says she needs to develop her own identity first. She takes it as rejection. The relationship deteriorates. January 2015. Jim ends it again. According to his lawsuit, Catriona attempts self-harm, though his attorneys claim evidence suggests her claimed attempt was fabrication. By May 2015, they're together again. Paparazzi photographed them in NYC hand in hand. September 24, 2015. Jim ends the relationship. Final time. 3 years over for good, 4 days later. September 28th, Catriona found deceased in her Sherman Oaks home. LA County Coroner, self-inflicted medication overdose, 4 prescription medications in her system, 3 of 4 prescriptions at her residence, prescribed under Arthur King, Jim's alleged alias. The night before, Jim texts asking if she knows where certain pain medications prescribed to him went. The lawsuit alleges this text was Jim attempting to cover up his conduct by pretending he'd misplaced the medications and insinuating White took them without his knowledge, when in reality, Carrey knew he'd voluntarily and questionably provided them days prior. Another chilling detail. Jim's assistant remotely checks surveillance cameras, determines Catriona hasn't left her residence in over a day. Neither Jim nor his assistant alert authorities. The lawsuit asks, if Carrey believed White had taken medications from him and she'd gone missing for days with no contact, why wouldn't Carrey immediately request law enforcement check on her? October 10, 2015. Jim travels to Ireland for her funeral. Photos show him as pallbearer, carrying her casket. His statement, a truly kind and delicate Irish flower, too sensitive for this soil. Beautiful, poetic, mournful. To Catriona's family, obscene. They believe Jim Carrey was why their daughter was in that casket. September 19, 2016. 1 year after Catriona's passing, her estranged husband, Mark Burton, files wrongful ending of life lawsuit against Jim. Yes, Catriona had a husband. Married Burton, a cameraman, in 2013 in Vegas. Jim's lawyers call it a sham marriage to evade immigration laws. Real or not, Burton was legally her husband, and he blamed Jim. The lawsuit alleges Jim questionably obtained and distributed highly addictive and harmful controlled substances, despite knowing Catriona was prone to depression and had previously attempted to harm herself. Catriona's mother, Bridget Sweetman, files her own lawsuit. Nearly identical claims, cases combined. Their attorney? Michael Avenatti. Yes, that Michael Avenatti, later convicted of extortion and fraud. But in 2016, he's representing a grieving family against Hollywood royalty. Avenatti wants Jim on the witness stand, under oath, explaining what happened. Jim files a countersuit, September 2017. Calls it heartless exploitation. The battle begins. Details get uglier. As lawsuits progress, both sides file damaging claims. Cathariona's family includes condition allegations, iPad note, texts, therapist notes. They paint Jim as someone who introduced a vulnerable woman to substances, gave her conditions, mistreated her, then discarded her. Jim's countersuit paints Cathariona as an extortionist who fabricated claims, forged documents, manipulated him for money. His lawyers claim she took his medications without knowledge. January 2018. Both lawsuits suddenly dismissed. No trial, no testimony, no resolution. Jim's representative. The case and all claims have been dismissed. He is extremely grateful. Avenatti. Mr. Burton and Ms. Sweetman are pleased the case has been resolved. No details on how or why, no settlement amount disclosed, no admission of guilt or innocence. The public gets no answers. Jim never testifies. The truth passes with Cathariona. Jim Carrey, once one of Hollywood's highest paid actors, admits he burned through his fortune, needs a paycheck. The man who commanded $20 million per film now takes roles from financial necessity. A stunning admission, revealing how far he's fallen, culturally and financially. What happened to the money? Multiple mansions, art collection, decades of paychecks? He never explains, but the implication is clear. Whatever wealth he accumulated is gone. Shortly after, Jim expresses interest reprising The Grinch. The 2000 film grossed over $345 million. But making it was reportedly difficult. Hours in makeup and prosthetics he called torture. He'd sworn never again. But now, he's open to it, because he needs the money. Jim once said in The Truman Show, "We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented." For decades, we accepted Jim's reality. Lovable performer, rubber-faced genius, the man who could make anyone smile. But reality, as Truman discovered, is often a carefully constructed lie. When cameras stop rolling, when lawsuits get filed, when the mask comes off, what's left is often more troubling than we wanted to believe. Because in the end, fame has its price. And sometimes that price is paid by the people who loved us most. Fame hides everything until it doesn't.